All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, Brittany. Looking great today.
You too.
Yes. We're here again for another episode of She Builds Tech Skills North America. But before anything else, or before we start, for those of you who are new with She Builds is a dynamic community dedicated to empowering and advocating for those who identify themselves as women in technology through mentorship, education, and professional growth within the tech industry. Again, I'm MJ Zulweta, one of your hosts today. I'm a CSM leader here in AWS and happy to be here with my co-host, Brittany.
Brittany Wolfram. I have the pleasure of working with MJ very often. I am at AWS as well in the experience-based acceleration role, joining you from a different space. So as you can tell, MJ and I both have different backgrounds today. This is not our normal go live setups, but as you go and you run around, sometimes we join from hotels, sometimes we join from new houses. So excited to get into the episode today. I do want to highlight a couple of things and kind of chat about them, MJ, before we jump in. One of the things that I want to highlight that we're going to dive a little bit deeper into would be just the platform engineering space. I feel like our special guest today gave me a lot of insight into the different community spaces, also just the team and the platform engineering world as like just eye-opening for me because I did not know as much. I don't know if you knew more about platform engineering prior or the community space there.
What stuck with me when we had our first conversation with Swarna, our guest today, was like the platform engineering team is the backbone of each of the company. So they are the building blocks on how the business come to life. So that's what I love about this this interview too. She will paint the picture how it happened, what is the team doing in Rhythm, which is the name of their company, and yeah, well, I don't want to spoil it any further. So, but before that, Brittany, I know we just had like a Memorial Day weekend. So, did you do anything fun over the weekend?
I did. I got to see my family, which I didn't get to see them as much until I moved recently back to the East Coast. But for Memorial Day, I got to see everyone, celebrate my brother's 30th birthday, and also see my nephew and spend the weekend at a motocross race. So a little bit different than your average weekend, but a lot of fun, rain, mud included. How about you, MJ? What'd you do with your weekend?
Mine is pretty low key. We just cleaned, unboxed some of the stuff that we still haven't touched. So for those of you who are listening, I just moved to our new house like about 4 weeks ago, and we still are unboxing stuff. So that's pretty much what happened. But I think you have more exciting intro for our guests. So let's jump right in.
Awesome. So we are going to get ready to meet our special guest. So MJ and I are going to mute away. And guess what? I will say, little sneak peek. Swarna is going to join us at the end for a live Q&A. So if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Also, let us know when where you're tuning in from. So for instance, I know today I am back in Midwest. Hello from Chicago. MJ out in Minneapolis. And yeah, let's hear where others are from and join the video. Welcome to another episode of She Builds North America Tech Skills. Super excited today to broadcast another one of our awesome customers. I am one of your hosts today, Brittany Wolfram, and I am joined by MJ. MJ.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. If you have been following our She Builds episodes, you probably know me already. But for those who are new in the show, I'm MJ Zulweta, Customer Solutions Manager Leader here at AWS. And as always, happy to be hosting our today's episode with my awesome partner, Brittany.
All right. So this is going to be a fun one, isn't it? Who are we introducing today?
Yes. So our guest is Swarna Mani, Director of Platform Engineering at Rithum. So on this episode, Swarna will chat with us about Rithum Data Center Transformation Initiative to AWS. So without further ado, Swarna, thank you so much again for allowing us to chat with you today. Let's start with tell us something about yourself, your background, and how did you get started in your current role?
Hi, I'm Brittany. Hi, MJ. Thanks for having me here. So I went into tech at a very early age. I have been in tech in some form the last 25 years. Started as a developer, as usual. Most of the people in tech start as developer or operations. So I started as developer, did operations, testing, SRE, DevOps, all along the way. So I collected motley group of various skills, and I was looking for a place like where I can bring all my skills and also, help others and learn more. And that's how I ended up with Rithum. I got a great opportunity here for forming the platform engineering and building platform engineering ground up. It's been a phenomenal adventure so far. So yeah, here I am.
Cool.
Awesome. I would love to hear more about Rhythm's background and what your team does.
So Rithum is not new. We just rebranded recently. We are like one of dropship pioneers. You might have heard originally Commerce Hub, and also channels for retailers and suppliers from Channel Advisor. So both these companies came together in late 2022, and we wanted to rebrand and go under one umbrella. We are now calling ourselves Rithum, the heartbeat of commerce. We are trying to address all kind of e-commerce solutions, from retailers to suppliers, to connecting them and taking them to next level, whether it is giving them platform marketing, or fantastic opportunity to build and do the business quick. That's what we are. And platform engineering is like the backbone of Rithum. We are here to help developers achieve their maximum developer productivity, create a stable infrastructure which is also modern, and also in a very cost optimized and effective way.
Awesome. So I know we had talked before when we were prepping, and you had talked a little bit about a data center migration. I would love if we could just tell our viewers a little bit about what were some of the major challenges your team encountered during the migration process.
The data center was close to 20 years old. So you know how much the technology has changed in the 20 years. All the, titles or, areas that I said, DevOps, SRE, whatever you call it, it all came in the last 10, 15 years. So it is like such a legacy data center. The major challenge for us was because of the legacy, there were like areas which we were not clear, and, some technical tech debts and gaps. And also it was a data center which was that old. So, maintaining and, making sure that it is modern was pretty difficult. So we had to make sure that we moved it seamlessly without any customer impact. That was like our top goal. So the major challenge was to, figure out all these dots and connect the dots and make it in an efficient move so that our customers are not impacted. And I'm happy to say that we achieved that pretty efficiently. And to give you some numbers, we migrated about 2,000 VMs, about which 20 to 30 were like SQL heavy hitting databases. It was like a massive architecture spanning across multiple product areas, and a very close knit monolith architecture. So it was not typical microservice where we can break it down and move it like chunk by chunk. But in spite of that, platform engineering and product development came together. We worked tirelessly and made the move in a way where we were pretty successful. And it's been 3 months, 4 months now. It has been a fantastic move for us, all positive impact after that.
Wow. 2,000 VMs. Very impressive. And I must say, I love your tagline, heartbeat of commerce.
Yeah, that's
Rithum.
yes, heartbeat of commerce.
It's so clever. Now, I have some specific questions about your data center move. So what were the benefits for Rithum when you moved from on-prem to AWS?
So the major thing was, as I said, it was a legacy data center. So we could easily remove the hardware support that is needed, and the maintenance became super easy. The latest and greatest technology could be used. Like one of our major platform engineering goal is infrastructure modernization. This gave us the ability to completely continuously re-architecture and go into the modern infrastructure world. And one major success that we got out of it is significant reduction in incidents because of the scalability and reliability of AWS platform.
Yeah, I remember those times when I used to work for a data center wherein if something fails, we have to wake up early in the morning to do the maintenance. So I can agree with you. It became and easy operational work for our people when we move to the cloud. Now, in terms of the measure of success of the project, are there any particular metrics or numbers that you can provide that showed like, hey, we're successful in this migration?
We're in a legacy data center. We had like a lot of hardware problems, and because of that, incidents, and continuously working on them to make sure that our customers are served in the right way. The one major measure that I would really like to tag here is that we are an e-commerce industry. So for us, Cyber 5, which starts from Thanksgiving all the way to Cyber Monday, are the 5 important days, and to serve our customers without downtime. That would be the biggest measure for us, and we made that happen. And to know that the migration happened just 2 months prior to Cyber 5, and getting that, containing the incidents without outages, where the customers had a wonderful Cyber 5, was the biggest key performance indicator or the measurement for us. This has really helped us to seamlessly serve our customers, and it has given us like a fantastic opportunity to recover faster if there is any problem. So
yeah.
It's awesome to hear that you did that just 2 months before.
I know.
That's a little daring, I would say, but an amazing accomplishment. What would be next for your team then? Since you all just did this and your success here, do you have something that's coming up next? What's in the pipeline? What are you thinking?
We have a lot of things. We have a lot of fun things planned for 2024. And as I said, developer productivity and infrastructure modernization is going to be like a top 2 goals. And what that means is that, as I said, like some of our architecture is like pretty old. We are going to containerize them and use as much as AWS native resources as possible. We are also looking into like continuous optimization on like what is our best AWS resource going forward. We are even using wherever possible AWS expert queue to make it faster. So we are trying to leverage as much as possible the latest technologies, and we are re-architecting like a lot of our pieces so that it is more fluid, helps multi-region disaster recovery. So that all our efforts are planned around that, in tandem with how each and everything can improve developer productivity.
So I have to ask a selfish question, because I'm getting to become a little bit of a Gen AI nerd. So would you say Rithum has any ideas or anything that they're planning to use Gen AI for in that pipeline?
It is in process and cooks. It's not as easy, because legal and copyright stuff need to be taken care of. But we are exploring various options so that we are not left behind. It is very much in brainstorming stages. We are continuously looking in how we can leverage. One thing which we really did great was to see how we can easily query our knowledge base. It is our knowledge base, and we used Gen AI to query it and get the answers faster. We are first looking into opportunities of using Gen AI internally to increase the developer productivity. For the product development and other areas, that is something I think I will let the product team answer, because they are the gurus in that, and they are definitely looking into it. And when the time comes, Rithum will be ready for that. That is something I can tell you, because we are not behind there.
Yeah, I love that part of the Gen AI process and journey. I think internally, it's for me, I've been able to do and automate some of the different processes for myself, just to get me up to speed, get me a little bit more free extra time, a little bit more innovation and creative time, which is always awesome. I know we're all thinking it and doing a lot in it, but lately I feel like I've been diving into Gen AI and having a ton of fun there. So MJ, over to you.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to pivot in terms of D&I participation in your company and as your personal passion, because I know you're passionate about D&I, or diversity, equity, and inclusion. What are your career advices for those who are wanting to be in IT, especially those who are women or identify themselves as women and girls in technology?
One thing, this is my personal experience, and this is my personal observation. Compared to my friends who are in non-IT, I have had it always easy. IT is very, very D&I inclusive. They look at your subject matter expertise. They see what you can bring to the table. I have never felt, maybe I'm lucky again, I have never felt because of a woman, I'm outside of the board, or I don't have the seat at the table. For example, all my peers are men. It was not intentional, and all my reports are men. it's not, I tried as much as possible, but that is another thing. I would love women to get into platform engineering as much as possible, but there seems to be this mental block that it is a difficult area. It's not. But what I'm saying is I have never felt that, oh my God, I'm the only woman among the sea of men or whatever it is. And also like being an immigrant, I came to United States like about 23 years back. I have never felt that I'm an immigrant as well, because in IT at the end of the day, it's all about like what you can bring to the company, what you can get done, how you can get to the finish line. And I think when you put it like that way, it is automatically DNI and anyone can perform. I have never felt problems because of ethnicity or how you gender yourself. That has never been a problem in IT. I have worked with all kind of like DNI across in my career, like in the last 25 years. And at the end of the day, it's all about like how we can get to the finish line. It's never been a problem here.
Yeah, love it. And knowing what your strengths are and be confident in campaigning for your own self. So I love that. Brittany, any thoughts on that? How about you? Did you have like any, advice too?
I'll add advice. I had a different experience, but I started in finance and IT, which is a whole nother fun, we'll call it, adventure. It's growing. I was one of 6 across the US, about a couple hundred of us.
Oh, okay.
And it was finance. So it was male dominated. But I will say, looking back now, I think we're paving the way for women of the future. And I love things like this, AWS SheBuilds, and being able to interview individuals and hear your stories and just share what we've gone through. I think this is like our path forward. And I think the advice I give to people is do what you like. Try it. Yeah. It's like you spend 8+ hours a day working. It's almost the same time you spend sleeping.
Yes.
And if you don't truly love what you're doing, or you don't try something new, like they're the things I think that keep us going, especially in tech. It's ever changing. And I think I love that because we're always learning something new. We're learning new tech, new business. You get to kind of get both worlds in there, but you're also getting to meet new individuals. And I think with the networking that we have available now and just the amount of women that are jumping into tech and STEM in general it's changing the way the environment is. And I love how it's evolving the inclusivity of just how we're building tech for others like ourselves.
Yeah, that is well said, because we are spending so much time on work. And at the end of the day, while I have had a great opportunity to work with great people, you need to always speak up for yourself. And if you feel that you're not being treated or valued properly in spite of you speaking up, there is always a better place for you. You need to find the place where you fit in. And as I said, like tech is all about what you can get done, your subject matter expertise, that is what is valued. And if you really have that, you will really find a place where you'll fit soon.
Yeah. And you can always role play it with your friends, with your colleagues. I think that's one of the things I was most fearful of in the beginning of my career. I'm like, how do I speak up? I want to make sure that it is in the most intelligent form and I'm getting my point across and I'm not being overly because sometimes I can be a little bit emotional or kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. So I think use your networking or your network in general to help you role play that and stand up for yourself and believe in yourself. I know there's some statistics out there that women don't like to apply for jobs unless they're 100+% qualified. And I laugh at that because this role I'm in today, I met 70% of the qualifications, but then I'm coming in to do it. And I feel like I didn't do myself justice because I'm definitely hitting more than those qualifications that I thought I had. I'm hitting more that I thought I was lacking. And I think we got to do more of that. So standing up for yourself is huge and we need to do it more. We need to speak up, for sure.
Absolutely. And a follow-up question as well for Swarna. Brittany, you mentioned networking. Are there any advice, Swarna, from your end about networking and sponsorship or mentoring that worked for you?
I try to reach out to people as much as possible. I am a people person. You will not believe that I was an IC for 17 years because I was totally happy being an IC. And when I got an opportunity to move into management, the only reason I embraced management was because it gave me more opportunity to work with people and solve people problems. So for networking, what I would say is your first easiest way to network is friends. Like as Brittany said, that's the first. You never know where your friends are, because so many times what happens is that you really you have this one-dimensional relationship with your friends. You should really, expand it, because they know you more than yourself. So they'll be like a fantastic networking opportunity. And also keep in touch with colleagues. LinkedIn is a fantastic tool. I keep in touch with like most of my colleagues, like dating 15 years, 17 years back. And even if I meet them somewhere, we have like a great conversation. We share like, each other, like the job descriptions, or if we need some person recommendations. Likewise, there are communities, across communities, like, even WhatsApp. I'm part of one community which is created by hiring managers and recruiters. And this is another thing. Like when I interview a candidate who's like phenomenal, but did not meet the requirements, I tell them like, keep in touch with LinkedIn. And if you want to, have any kind of discussion in this area, or if you're just looking for a mentor in this area, I'm always open for it. So you need to be open for networking and connections anywhere, any event you go, all these big events that's happened, like reInvent, JFrog, Swamp Up, you can make connections there. But the thing is, connections can happen at the easiest places, like with your friends, with your colleagues, and, even in the interview, which may not pan out, but, where you can connect to some person. I have connected like great women engineers in the interviews who didn't meet the requirements of the role, but I'm connected to them because I felt that they have like great potential, and this is a person I want to connect to. And also it can be as simple as like you read a blog, you read or you look up a podcast, you really like that person. Most of them are now opening up the LinkedIn, so you can reach out to them, you can connect to them. Networking is fantastic. It can come really useful in multiple ways. Also, there is so many open free Slack channels. The one Slack channel which I really like personally is like the free platform engineering Slack channel. I have learned so much there. Join that platform. They even conduct platform con, that kind of thing. It's free. All experts come there. I have asked like some great questions with my peers and had like fantastic collaboration there. Open for connection. Keep your mind open. You can form connections and do networking in any place.
Yeah, it seems like be intentional and be open. I know for me, I met a couple people at reInvent, and we just reconnected a couple weeks ago, and it's just great to be introduced to people that are thinking differently about the world and doing things differently and learning from one another, but also being able to bounce things off back and forth, which sounds like you've done a lot of with the different channels and the different folks that you've interviewed and kept connected with, which I feel like we could all do a little bit more of. I would love to be more intentional about it. So truly appreciate the tips and tricks there.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the best advice that I also got from someone that I reach out to is that, hey, ask for 2 more people from someone whom you had good connection with. Most likely those 2 people will have 2 more people each, and another 2 more people each, and then before you know it, you have like so much connection in your network. So it kind of like give you an avenue to meet more people outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's just like our viewers. Our viewers should connect. I mean, you can comment, you can talk to us, but also see who else is viewing and see who else is commenting. Feel free to reach out to one another.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. Well, I wish we had more time today, but again, thank you so much, Swarna, for your time. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people learned about how Rithum's journey was successful in AWS. And thank you for sharing your personal career experiences with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we are back, and Swarna's graciously gave us some more of her time to answer some questions. Swarna, thank you for coming back and answering questions of the crowd. We do have a couple in the chat. MJ, is there one that you want to start with?
Yes, first things first, this is my probably nth time watching the video, but I still keep on nodding. I don't know if you guys can see me offline, but I'm like, yes, amen to that. But yes, we have like a couple of questions, and one of the questions that we have here is this one. Why did you choose AWS above other cloud providers?
That's an interesting but a very good question, because once you go into platform engineering or infrastructure learning, there will always come a time when you have to decide the cloud provider. If you're going from on-prem to cloud, or if you're already like a hybrid, thinking about what is the next step, because there are multiple clouds out there. AWS is a pioneer, but Google is doing so much marketing. Again, Microsoft has been taken over by all of US security and other companies. So there is always this question: am I going in the right direction? Um, my response would be, you need to figure out who's the right choice for your company, for your needs. And we went with AWS because of that. I will expound my answer shortly, and we are totally happy with that. We made the right choice. The choice being, as I mentioned in my interview, we had a legacy data center. We had to move without downtime, and we wanted to move it seamlessly. The reason why we first selected AWS was not a stranger to us. We have multiple product lines. One of our product lines already is on AWS, so we have a good working relationship with them, and we know, when we need something, AWS will come back quick. We can work out POCs and other things with them. In a nutshell, we had a very good working relationship with AWS, so we were not worried about the support aspect of it. The second thing was, as I said, like we wanted the least downtime and seamlessly migration as possible. So we went with actually VMware in AWS because our data center was VMware, and later converting into native resources as needed, and that worked perfectly for us. Um, and also, as I said, like since one of our product line was already in AWS, we had in-house AWS experts. It is always better to go with something rather than taking up something which you are totally into a new uncharted territory. It happens with companies have been there where we are completely new to cloud. We had to do certifications and understand before we go into that. It's a different kind of timeline, but we had a short timeline. We had concrete goals. We wanted a good support partner. We wanted to move seamlessly, and we wanted to go into a realm where we already had experts. AWS checked all those boxes for us. It's why AWS.
Love it. I love that. I mean, you cannot top that answer right now. So, another question that we have, like I know, in again, we can only share the data that we have right now. So, what was the financial impact when you moved to AWS?
So this is a very interesting question because data center and AWS are not apples to apples, because I am doing that every day because, as I said, we had multiple product lines, and migration we spoke about is one product line. When you talk about, or when you compare data center to AWS, what most of the people forget about is, uh, when you're doing an itemized bill for data center, it's hardware, it's support, it's networking equipment, it's networking connection, it is rent, it is all miscellaneous equipment, it's security, it's also the operational work that you put in to support your data center. Everything, if you combine and have like a number, it's only then you can compare it with AWS, because you are getting all of that, and the only area where you need is AWS in-house experts to make sure that the infrastructure can be maintained and scaled accordingly. So doing a comparison is extremely difficult. That is something I can tell out of the bat. For us, it was decrease in cost because we went with more modernized infrastructure. It was a very easy one because it's like a 20-year-old legacy. We are moving it into AWS. We went into more modernized infrastructure. We are continuing to modernize there. Some of them is already containerized. As I said, like we are working on containerization more this year. So every day we are trying to reduce cost, and also we set up the AWS Cost Explorer, which is fantastic. We are reaping rewards of that. It gives us like what is the best CSP, where do we need to go for RIs, where we need to change, that kind of a thing. So it's a continuous optimization thing as far as cost is concerned. And I wouldn't say that every time you migrate from data center to cloud it will be a lower cost. It very much depends on your architecture. If you have bulky architecture which is not optimized, which is not like scalable, which is not modernized, you may end up paying more in cloud, because basically you are trying to move something which is not cloud ready.
Mhm.
Whereas if you move a piece which is supposed to run in cloud, which will be more optimized in cloud and which is ready in cloud, it is always cloud is cheaper than data center. So it all depends on where you come from, and for our this particular migration, it was cost optimized solution for us.
And yeah, and that's why here in AWS you always have like the well architected review, like what would make sense, what use case would fit more to the cloud, and we don't push it if some of the legacy application doesn't run in the cloud. There's no point of like moving it to the cloud, right? So to your point, we're meticulous in terms of like what components, what applications, and what platform can we move in the cloud, so it won't increase the cost of our customers. Thank you for that, Swarna. Let me check. We don't have additional question in line, but I wanted to. We have like people who are saying hello to you, Swarna. So we have Nico and we have Chihuahua saying hola. All right.
Well, I do have a question, and Swarna, I gotta say, kudos to setting up your Cost Explorer, because that is one of the best tools in your back pocket you can have to understand your cost and move forward. But I did kind of want to pivot and ask you a little bit more about how you foster innovation and inclusivity within your team, and any strategies you have to share that really help just have everyone have a voice in the project, making sure everyone hears each other's perspectives. And how does that work in your team dynamic?
Um, that's what it works great. That's because of open communication. I always say that, whenever I run a meeting or whenever I have a design discussion, I always end up my meeting saying that open to inputs, comments, and concerns. I keep that open communication because I want everyone to know that everyone is heard, even the quieter voices. If they don't want to speak up in the meeting, they can reach me out in DM. And also, by fostering a psychologically safe environment, I really encourage everyone to learn from their mistakes, take that as a learning opportunity. And if there is an ability for them to learn and grow, if they want to do some training or try it out in a different team among my organization, try or work with some other project, I really encourage that. There are people who really want to innovate more, and sometimes coming to everyday logistics, the budget may not support innovation. But one thing I try to take time is that don't immediately turn down the innovation, encourage them, make them to do whatever is needed, keep the proposal ready, and when the time comes, pull in the innovation so that they know that they need not stop innovating or experimentation. All I tell them is have a planned quarter so that you are able to get your timelines and you're also able to do these things on the side. Just by having, teams are diverse, inclusive leadership is extremely important. And I believe in a trust factor. You need to share your experiences. If there are like, if we are talking about a project, and in earlier years when I've done the project, there was like especially areas where I learned from the project. I don't find it hard to share. I'm open on how we did something, how we overcame something, so that people understand that okay, she has also gone through this. She will understand if we are going through something. And trust and support your team, empower your team, and recognize them. It may be small. For example, like as I said, like this is a new team found only 1 year back, and we have something called as RISE values, which is reliability, intuitive, security, scalable, and effective. Whatever you develop in platform engineering, make sure it conforms to RISE. And I have this small thing called as RISE award every month. Like whichever engineer is embracing those values or created something that shows that they are moving the team forward, or doing innovative things, which can be just tech debt or incident or a new project, whatever it is. uh, we give that RISE award every month. It just cheers up, and doing those small things makes the team get the proper encouragement, and keeping the channels open, and giving a transparent update, just saying as it is, that really helps. I really encourage everyone to give situation, behavior, impact feedback, so that someone understands why a feedback is given. They don't take it like offensively. Those are like some of the things that we follow within our team, which has really helped. I let my my leads do their own style of management. Everybody has their own style of management, but these are few things I really encourage them to do, where like embrace, keep it open, keep it transparent, and encourage and learn from the mistakes. Those are, yeah, some things that you do, automatically innovation will continue to come.
I love that. I also love that you mentioned psychological safety, because I feel like that is a big thing that can really help with the team, but also knowing that everyone's going to have their unique approach and process and that side of how they're doing it, including your leads and their management styles. It probably comes out to this well-balanced machine, which is always nice when you all can balance out each other. That's why I like doing my interviews with MJ and Candace, because we both sets of us all manage to balance each other out to help with that perspective. And it's great to hear that the innovation and the inclusivity balance each other as well. I know MJ might have a question or two, but I do want to send it over to her.
Yes, no, and again, I'm gonna pivot. I know that being women in tech or in the in the industry in general is quite challenging for us because some women are very averse with promotion. And it's because women, I mean, I'm sorry, men, but women have more responsibilities in terms of like taking care of the children, taking care of the elderlies. So, as a leader, Swarna, you are leading a very critical area in the organization. How do you balance your work and home life?
That's a very good question. I think it all comes down to first and foremost, you need to enjoy your work. That solves half of the equation because it becomes a drudgery if that's not the case. I enjoy my work, so that would be my first thing. And the second thing is I really trust and support my team, meaning like I empower my team and delegate as needed. The one thing which I've seen, like some of my friends, even it took them a while to adjust to leadership because there is always this thing if done this way is the best, and I think I've done this is the best way to do it. That kind of like unknown bias of you may be the best person to direct everything makes it more difficult because you need to delegate. For you to grow, you need to delegate and you need to empower your team. So that is something I take very seriously, and that is one of the reasons I am able to grow because my team. I mean, I'm here, and whatever projects I spoke, it's not something I did. It's all my team. They did it, and they supported me, and it's a bidirectional relationship. Empowering my team has been very critical in making me grow as a leader. The third thing is time, right? Effective planning of the time. I believe that you need to have some kind of plan uh, for every day and a week. I'm not a nitpicker. What I mean is like, if I most of the time you can at least forecast 60 to 70% of what work is going to come next week. So I put it in, if not meetings, I put in like calendar, like this need to be done, that need to be done. I spread it across the week, and before I close the week, I'll look at like what is planned for the next week. Likewise, before I close every day, I will look at what is planned for the tomorrow. So that gives me something of a preparation in my mind. So I didn't realize I have said like three E's now: enjoy the work, empower the team, effective use of time. So those three E's
Yeah.
uh, are like the backbone of any women if they think that they cannot do leadership or grow or handle both family and time. And I meant effective planning of time. It's not only work, even like family. To have some kind of plan, I even put calendars for my sons and daughters, various things in the calendar, so I get prepared for that. Weekend also I prepare a bit for family, like what need to be prepared, like lunch and dinners, that kind of thing. So having those three things in order, the work that you love, the team that you support and empower, and some way you plan your time uh, should make it much easier to tackle both. I find that if I miss even one of that, then it's like a juggling ball show which is a failure. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I really need this talk. And sometimes we have these moments where in like, oh, I feel so overwhelmed right now. I love the three E's and also most especially the delegation.
Yeah.
So you can have more time for creative thinking for yourself and also have some time for the family. And at the same time, you're empowering your team members to be creative as well. Yes. Thank
All right,
you
I'm
for
also highlighting one of the comments. So we have a comment over here, Swarna. We need more leaders such as yourself in tech with a heart going on, which is always awesome to hear. And this is why we're here. This is why our community is here. This is why we have these conversations to just empower one another. And I don't know how it happens, but these episodes go by way too quick for me every time. And it's like when I have to close it out, I'm like, but I don't want to close it out. We have to talk for another 25 minutes. But Swarna, I know you have a very busy schedule. MJ, I do know you do as well. But I want to thank you, Swarna, again for joining us and just sharing your tech journey, your skills, your courageous deadline in moving your data center and getting that all moved over in 2 months. That still to this day touches me on how quickly you all were able to get that done and just how you're able to balance that and have a great team. And then thanks to all our viewers for joining us and hanging out with us for this time on Tuesday. And we will see everyone in 2 weeks. See you later.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks, platform engineering team in Rithum. This is because of you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.